What's not to love about a good fight scene? They are often the high points of the anime, showcasing a character's otherworldly powers and abilities. But even among anime fights, hand-to-hand combat enjoys a really special place. I mean, there's a reason why the fight between Gaara and Rock Lee is one of the most iconic scenes from Naruto. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at 10 insanely choreographed hand-to-hand fights in anime. But before we start this Sakuga feast, make sure to karate chop the like and subscribe buttons. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, let's start the show. We're starting off this list with the bloody battle between the tag team of Claire and Shuichi and the clinically insane Hikawa. Our protagonist Shuichi has a habit of turning into a figurine monster who literally has a zipper on his back. This situation gets even goofier when Claire gets inside Shuichi's body to harness his monster strength, and that's when the fight begins. In the beginning, Hikawa is beating the crap out of them because Shuichi doesn't want to hurt her. But pretty soon, Claire convinces him to fight, and that's when it really gets brutal. What I really like about this fight is how every punch and every kick has a reason behind it. It's a strange fight where even though things are happening fast, they still make sense. And it's also pretty real when it comes to the bloodbath at the end, so I would say that this number 10 spot is well deserved. Next up at number 9 on our list, we have the crazy battle between Siji and Izzy that takes place in the wild anime Taboo Tattoo. Now, Taboo Tattoo gets a lot of hate from anime fans, but I think it does have some redeeming qualities. There are some cool fights in this anime, including the one between our protagonist Siji and the female lead Izzy. All of this starts when Siji saves a homeless man's life and in return receives a strange tattoo, which is one thing you don't really want to get from a homeless dude. Now, Siji is a middle schooler who knows quite a lot about martial arts, and he's going to school one morning when this chick just clotheslines him in the middle of the street. Her name is Izzy and she notices his tattoo. That evening, she steals Siji's phone to lure him into an abandoned building, and that's where all hell breaks loose. Izzy is crazy strong and she literally ragdolls our protagonist. He tries to defend, but it's no use. This fight scene is so epic because you get to see it from different angles that make you feel as if you're a part of it. The damage sustained by our MC also seems very real, and you can even feel his pain, which isn't that nice. To top it all off, the whole fight ends on a comedic note, which is much better than the massacre from the previous fight. Moving on at number 8, we have the ultra high stakes showdown between Kugami and Makishima that takes place in the 16th episode of Psychopaths. Now, our protagonist Kugami isn't actually the good guy and he has to do some shady stuff to achieve his goals, but there's a big obstacle standing in his path, Makishima. These rivals come head to head in this fight, and from the get-go you can feel the tension between them. Production IG portrays this tension by staging this fight in this dark and tight space where these guys are fighting till the bitter end. The choreography here is also really good and gives a dash of realism to this fight. The fight ends with our MC lying on the ground at Makishima's mercy. I won't tell you what happens next because I really want you to watch this show, since it has so many great fights and an amazing story that makes this anime a must-watch. From the highly acclaimed Psychopaths, we go to the highly controversial anime Kengen Ashura to look at the fight between Uma and Rayen, which sits at number 7 on our list. Now, I know what you're thinking, how is this an anime when it uses so much CGI? Well, that's a fair question. In fact, this very question stopped me from watching this show, but it all changed when I watched the clip from one of its fights, and I've been a fan of this show ever since. I mean, if you just get past the CGI use, what's not to like here? It's an anime where people are fighting like gladiators to settle business deals. How freaking cool is that? And in the second season, our protagonist Uma faces off against Rayen in a fight like no other in the world of anime. Every vein popping, every punch, every sound, and even the damn CGI enhances the beauty of this fight, which goes back and forth as these fighters show off their skills and hidden powers. There's something for everyone in this fight. Martial arts fans can appreciate the precise moves from these fighters, while fans of hardcore action will absolutely feast on all the blood and gore on hand. But even if you're just a casual anime fan, you'll come to find something enjoyable in this hidden gem of the action genre. Next up at number 6, we have the fight between Yuji and Todo from the insanely popular battle shonen Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen has some of the best fight scenes in anime. In fact, we even included a fight from this show in our list of top 10 anime fights, which you can check out by clicking this link on the screen. Now, in all of the great fights from this show, the one that makes the best use of hand-to-hand combat takes place in the high school tournament arc. The fight starts when the feared high schooler from the other Jujutsu school, Todo, comes to fight Yuji in the middle of the jungle. In the beginning, Todo just wants to take Yuji's head off, but pretty soon he realizes how strong Yuji is and he becomes a fan. So while Yuji is fighting for his life, Todo is busy analyzing his strengths and flaws. And all of this happens during a really fast-paced and really organic fight scene that is animated as well as you can expect from Studio Mappa. If this fight scene was a little longer, it might even be in the top 3 simply because of how beautiful it looks. So definitely check this one out if you haven't already. From the fight that started the friendship between Todo and Yuji, we go to the fight that strengthened the camaraderie between Jinmori and Han Daiwai, which sits comfortably at number 5 on our list. The fight takes place in the popular 2020 anime God of High School, which has already given some awesome fights to anime fans. The fight between Jinmori and Han Daiwai, however, just hits different for a multitude of reasons. First off, just like all the other fights in this anime, the whole sequence is animated beautifully. Then there's the change in perspectives and some really cool POV shots that literally suck viewers into the battle. I usually don't like when they start showing the backstory in the middle of a fight, like I used to pull my damn hair whenever that happened in Naruto, but in this fight, the backstory only adds to the spectacle. These two fighters start off with a broken friendship, and by the end, they are two friends exchanging blows to see who comes out on top. There are also a lot of moves that reminded me of cult classics like King of Fighters, and the whole fight ends with this gorgeous, fluid black and white animation that's just the cherry on top. Next up at number 4 on our list, we have a fight that happened more than 2 decades ago, if you can believe it. I'm of course talking about the legendary battle between Spike and Vincent from the Cowboy Bebop movie, which aired all the way back in 2001. The fight takes place around the end of the film, and it really is unbelievable how good it looks, especially for the time. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is out of place here. The punches, the strange POVs, and even the frickin' sweat drops are part of this grand spectacle where we see two men duke it out for all the marbles. There is also some back and forth dialogue between them, and it only enhances the aura of this epic fight. Another great element of this fight is the on-point music score that keeps raising the hype to insane levels. Cowboy Bebop is one of the greatest anime of all time, and this fight is truly a testament to its greatness. At number 3 on our list, we have the insane bridge fight that takes place in Fog Hill of 5 Elements. I know most of you haven't seen this one, but I'm sure you've seen clips from some of its otherworldly fight scenes. The 3-episode show, which was made by a team of only 6 Chinese animators, gives us fight sequences that some of the biggest studios could only dream of making. And one of these fights takes place on a bridge where a mysterious fighter is trying to get inside a heavily guarded castle. The fights here are not technically hand-to-hand since they use weapons, but it has such beautiful and authentic choreography that I have to give it a nod. From the sounds of blades hitting metal, to the way a fighter has to move while wielding these weapons, everything is presented perfectly here. You can see they must have had guidance from real experts while creating these fight scenes, and as a fan of anime, I just can't help but be grateful that there are still people out there who would give it everything they have to give us a piece of art like this one. It really was the high point of Naruto for me. Now, before we talk about the number 1 fight on our list, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos. At number 1, we have the viral fight from the Outcast Season 3, where our protagonist Ouya takes care of multiple assailants in a perfectly choreographed martial arts showdown. Now, say what you want about the Outcast, it does have some really cool fight scenes, including this one, which in my eyes is the greatest hand-to-hand fight in all of anime. The sequence starts off as a fast-paced chase that turns into a beatdown, where Ouya uses Tai Chi to take down all the enemies that are after him. His moves are so fluent that you can forget you're even watching an anime. And after watching it a couple of times, you can truly understand how much passion was put into this one scene, which saved it from being just another fight and instead turned it into truly a celebration of the medium that is anime. And that wraps up today's video. Do you agree with my list? Tell me about your favourite hand-to-hand fight in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.